Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to BBallBreakdown. Last night could have been the death knell for this Atlanta Hawks team as we know it. While the score ended up being a 25-point lapper, the margin was even worse than that for much of the game. And it centered on the record-shattering performance by the Cavaliers from the three-point line. I mean, it actually became almost stupid how many they were raining down, and the Hawks never knew what hit them. So let's break into the footage and see exactly how they were able to knock so many long balls down. In the first, the Cavaliers struggle a little bit to flow into their motion. The idea is that Love's roll will suck JR's man down to help. This actually doesn't happen as Kyle Korver stays home, but it didn't seem to matter. Great contest, but J.R. Smith lets us know that he has ignited big head mode early. With Millsap struggling mightily to handle the ball all night, the live ball turnover ignites the fast break, which turns into a 5-on-2, and Kevin Love gets going with a wide open corner three. The game was still close, but the Hawks' defensive intensity started to falter. First off, they allowed middle penetration all over the place. Millsap doesn't try to angle LeBron back towards the baseline. But the real egregiousness is in simply watching Jeff T get back in transition, completely losing Kyrie for yet another wide open corner three. Here's a UCLA cut into inside ball screen right out of the triangle high post. This turns into Hawk action with a double pin down for J.R. Smith. Now, Kyrie kicks it to LeBron for a pick and pop. LeBron shot 30% from three in the regular season, but has risen to a respectable 35% in the playoffs. This is the shot the Hawks want, but Sefolosha needs to use a little more intensity to get around Kyrie and contest. Kyrie had some intensity on defense, smothering the pass from Schroeder and forcing the turnover. The Cavs sprint back to offense. Schroeder is not hustling fast enough, gets hung up on the brush screen, and watch this ridiculous lefty pass by LeBron. It's a laser right on the money, and Bazemore completely turns his head and loses his man for a second. Problem is, Love just waltzes to the short corner three for yet another wide open shot. Unfortunately, the TV coverage didn't give us a lot of information on this, but you can see Bazemore not in his stance, not up high enough when Smith is 10 feet away from LeBron for the easy underhanded flip. Gorgeous hop by Smith to get this off quickly and in rhythm, and yet another three ball. We've talked about middle penetration a lot. Watch Korver's feet. They're even with the man. Instead of getting his left foot higher, his left arm straight ahead to corral his man towards the baseline. Here's an interesting move by Shumpert as he throws the ball across his body, then crosses over again, getting Korver way off balance. Remember, J.R. Smith has been allowed to get into big head mode, so when the deep middle penetration happens, it forces help from two people. Expert ball movement finds Smith wide open for yet another splash. As the clock wound down at the end of the first, the Cavs run this clever set where Thompson fakes the ball screen, then turns around and cross screens for JR. Horford drops back, which is strange since the shot clock is so short, but Korver is right there. And like we said, JR is in big head mode and nothing is going to stop him when he's doing this. As if 8 threes weren't enough in the first quarter, the Cavs waste no time running a UCLA cut into ball screen for Delly. Again, the Hawks definitely want LeBron shooting threes, but not with this much daylight and the deficit as big as it is. Long threes when you're up 15 are infinitely easier to make. There's definitely a theme here. Quick threes taken before the defense can get set up. Channing Frye got into the mix when neither Horford or Millsap know who they're guarding. Frye gets an easy catch and shoot. More Bazemore defensive issues. When they screen with Shumpert, Korver does his best, but LeBron Euros around him. Watch Millsap take away the roll. He's in position, and Bazemore does not need to have 1 foot in the paint. Even though he closes out okay, there's enough daylight for Delly to get this off clean and in rhythm. And now that the Hawks have defended and scored so poorly, threes taken with a 20-point lead are easier to make, with no pressure on the Cavs. Again, nobody knows who's guarding LeBron. The top two choices are Millsap and Bazemore, and they have no interest in getting in position. So T comes out with a half-hearted reach-in. Nice spin move by LeBron, the defense gets collapsed, Millsap closes out on a bad angle to allow middle penetration, and there's no one left to contest the Jefferson three. The Cavs were cooking, the crowd was rocking, and when LeBron is hitting threes off a pick and roll, the game is over. This was an interesting possession because I think the Hawks are playing zone defense. As far as I knew, they never really played zone, but Sefolosha seems to be playing the center position. And when Bazemore gets screened, he just stays at the guard spot. A simple skip and swing forces the zone to rotate, but Mike Scott is not moving in the direction of the ball with any intensity or speed, and Kyrie gets a wide open corner three. Of all the threes made by the Cavs, this possession was by far the best defense we'd seen by the Hawks. Unfortunately, it took until the end of the second quarter, and because Smith is already going off, shots like this are just gonna drop, you know? Cleveland breaks into a horn set with a strong side curl by Jefferson and a weak side pin down for Smith. Korver tries to contest, but J.R. Smith does him downright nasty with a fake behind the back pull. I gotta say it, this is some serious pipe. More offensive struggles by the Hawks leave Bazemore on the ground while all 5 Cavs sprint up court. Of course, Korver ain't leaving JR, but there simply wasn't a defender left to pick up Jefferson. Splash. At the end of the second, the Hawks were completely demoralized at this point and ready to just fly away. Another fake ball screen into a cross screen for Smith, but watch what JR does. He goes underneath, sucking 2 defenders in who don't talk to each other at all, allowing Love to pop to the three-point line. No one within 10 feet of him. Jeez Louise. At this point, the only question was whether the Cavs were going to break the regular season and or playoff record for most threes in a game. And JR is doing ridiculous JR things with this turn and fire from just above the corner. I mean, come on. More defensive issues. Millsap helps one pass away even though Horford was already standing there in perfect position. Easy pass, easy shot, and LeBron might have refound his three-point stroke. Look out, Atlanta and everybody else. On this quick step-up screen, I don't like that Bazemore isn't sprinting to get back in front. He leaves enough of an opening that it forces Sefolosha to rotate down. LeBron finds Kyrie spotting up in the corner, and this kind of defense does almost nothing to affect a shooter like Kyrie. Hard to see what happened here, but Bazemore gets screened off. Sefolosha steps up, but then runs away, leaving Bazemore 2 steps behind the action and unable to contest this in any meaningful way. And this shot breaks the playoff record for threes in a game at 22. At this point, the Cavs were just playing to break the overall record for threes in a game, and when Mo Williams fires a pass off of Muscala's face, you just know the basketball gods were on the Cavaliers' side last night. And you know you're in bad shape when Richard Jefferson is a dribble drive artist, driving and dishing to Dante Jones for the 3 to break the record for most threes. And Mo Williams puts the icing on the cake. Feel free to explain why Muscala was guarding him, but didn't matter one bit. This series is most likely over, and the Cavs can start preparing for either the Heat or the Raptors. If you ask me, it'll be the Heat, and it'll be a lot more competitive than this.